And Final Fantasy VI with Pixel Remaster beginning. The final of the 16-bit era of Final Fantasy, and the final actually main series Final Fantasy that was made with just 2D graphics. But it is not the best RPG Squaresoft made. Then it was still Squaresoft made during 16-bit era, although you could say of the WoW 16-bit era either. Even though that game is from Squaresoft, it is not this one. So let's just go with that. Let's just get going forward and skip the title scene, which is real nicely integrated into the game itself, and the game already has introduced a big important title which would, well, it would appear quite a lot in the Final Fantasy series later, and generally other as well, called Magitek, meaning you make technological things with magic, like cars. Like, if you could say you could buy a flying carpet that you could then use like a car, that would be an example of Magitek. And of course, the opposite, well, there isn't made one, but somebody could make some sort of gas-powered valve system which would allow them to fire flames from their hands. But these are Magitek-armors. So let's just start the game without skipping the front texts, which is actually quite nice effect of using mode 7, which Super NES allowed 2 layers to make a illusion of progress, things going further. Actually, it went through already. Damn it, it looks kind of unpleasant now. I wonder, does this still have the option to switch to give a bit of dithering to the graphics, make it look nicer, because in this raw pixel form it looks much cruder than it should be. Sometimes you don't want high resolution. Yeah, I know that. Configuration, brightness, graphic display, classic, yeah. Yeah, now it looks much better. Bit of dithering. Yeah. So, it's a tutorial phase. I have two. There's Magitek-armors, and which are capable of doing all kind of things. They shoot magical beams capable of doing damage. Let's just switch the battle messages on, battle speed fast. Yeah, but I am now at Narshe city. Empire is attacking Narshe city using its Magitek armor. Yeah, Magitek armors are quite powerful. And in comparison to the earlier Final Fantasy games, they've actually had more animation frames to their player characters, although I could say that during the whole 16-bit era Final Fantasy games had a quite limited amount of you could say animation frames, especially with the enemies, which basically were just static images, maybe flashing but otherwise, or turning around, but otherwise would not be practically doing anything. Yeah, Magitek-armors, big scary stompy machines of death and destruction. But yeah, and this phase of the game also gives a lot of lesson about gives a lot of confusion about attacks from both sides, back attacks, and all that. Quite very basic things of the game, which game has, and because of Pixel Remaster, this has also the boost of options for just in case that you want to get some extra XP or money faster. And of course, it also has the map screen. But in this phase, Magitek. Bio Blast. Oh yeah, I say that in this game the little minor upgrades to the graphics actually have made game look better than it already was. Final Fantasy IV didn't really benefit, which I didn't play with this. And Esper, that's an actually term which would appear later as well in Final Fantasy games, usually referring to some sort of ancient beast or creature. You want to learn about save points? No, I already know about them, but I do make use of them. Oh yeah. And of course, because of Pixel Remaster, it has this option to just repeat all the previous actions of the game, what you've done, which is really convenient when you face lots of similar things to do. But the green-haired character seems to be knowing something or being important. Boss fight tutorial. With boss music, of course. Yeah, it gave us. It's giving up basic instructions about how to fight this thing. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oops, I attacked the shell. Yeah. It can hide in the shell. So, which means that you can't just keep wailing at it all the time, because the game is not completely turn-based. But yeah, a couple of big flashes and now dramatic rumbly fading away to the boss monster. The original translation for a dead woozy, it was just called Welk. But for some reason this Empire wants an Esper, and they have Magitek-armors, so they get to get it. Yes, and sometimes battle scenes also have drama or dialogue. Yeah. That was not proper WAG that Wedge said, because it would be WAG! It was more like a WAG! I don't know, something. But apparently Esper, whatever it means, is quite real. And it responded to unnamed female character. Yep, now I can play with this unnamed female character. Yet. So she wore some sort of crown or headband. Slave crown, mind control device. So apparently that kind of device had been invented, and strangely enough it never returns as a plot element. And they also gave an introductory screen to every important character, which says character you can play, you get to be in your party. Maybe temporarily, maybe for a long time, but here's the first one. And Gestalian Empire is their first one. Let her be named Terra. Original Japanese name is Tina, which is basically something that it would have to be sound exotic to Japanese, so they pick an American name Tina, which in United States and all that kind of area isn't that exotic, so Ted Woozy decided Terra is better named to her, and it sounds exotic but yet still completely real. Yeah, Terra. Surname Branford. How she got it, I don't know. And for some reason Terra is stuck in Narshe. She attacked not long time ago. So, the plot is about to start. Yeah. It is so. This Terra is stuck in Narshe and all that kind of thing. So it is time to do some of the how the basic game goes. You start with a crew. You have to fight against enemies, and with a. If I would have had the Magitek-armor, it would have been much more effective. So, down to save, because the game is now actually beginning completely. And I think I'm gonna use the policy of cutting away all the random fights, like this one right here. I do know that these aren't that particularly interesting, especially once the basic mechanics of the game and the character mechanics have been introduced, which might mean that in those cases I might just stick to the not having getting the encounters off while I just go through these all dungeons, because random encounter rate tends to be quite high. So let's just put the repeat actions mode on. And for the player's convenience, right, that is this game, Terra knows healing magic, which is to say, extremely useful thing to have in Final Fantasy game. You always need a healer in your crew. Always. There's no exception to that. Oh yeah. Basic ugly rat monstrosity. Die with one hit, even with this quite low leveled character. Whoops! Yeah, there's some funny. There are some you could say animation frames, and she fell off and lost her consciousness. And a nice sepia-toned flashback mentioning a character called Kefka. Who doesn't seem to be particularly sane. So, flashback tells that the Emperor Gestal has figured out magic, has figured out magic unlike nobody else, which gave them quite much of a advantage. Yep, treasure hunter traveler. Let his name be still the original Locke. Can't remember the actual name. Yeah. But I still find that the proportions are still very much simplistic, with the heads being, you could say, they have the baby proportions, with heads being about quarter of tall, just to give them some expressions and recognizability. And legs seem to be very short, stubby. But now we have already two characters introduced. We have Terra and Locke, the heroine, and perhaps you could say one of the hero as well. Yeah, lots of guards. So now there's a Moogle as well. Actually, no, I know how to do this. I have played through this game a lot. But I have several squads I can use to walk around the field, do all kinds of things. And there are all these enemy squads also walking around. So it is a matter of trying to catch them by surprise. Oh yeah, bit of this kind of, you could say, team swapping mechanic would become quite prevalent in this game as well. This would not be the only time the game would have this kind of mechanic, but it would appear quite a few times. This would be the first time, so it's quite. So they really had a design to make the first designs of the first moments of the game very memorable by introducing the mechanics they would be in this game. Because of how the game has been structured, the difficulty at this phase is not at all, but it's not particularly, you could say, frightening. I'd say it would be modest. I didn't get it to beat them down. Well, let's just send the Moogle boss, this Moogle, to defeat that. Yeah, and Moog knows how to dance. It's a dance that depends on the terrain and all that. Let's hope that I don't just kill over and Wisp. No, I don't. I beat them. And I wasn't particularly worried about losing teammates in that case because, well, those Muggles don't appear to the game or appear to the group anymore, except one of them. Of course, the first leader of them, Mog, who knew the dance. Others were just team fillers. And I do say that at this phase you could say that this game will have lots of well, this would be very heavy game about drama and act and things. There would be very little of, you could say, well, there are humorous moments and all that kind of thing, but you could say that this game generally is very, it's dramatic. It's also really good. But then again, I haven't played. Only one Final Fantasy game can be said to be bad in my books of what I have played, and it is not bad not because of its plot, but because of the gaming mechanics. Oh yeah. So can I go back to the city? No, I can't return to the city. So let's just head to the beginner's hall. Actually, they aren't that numerous. Yeah. And here we can enjoy the basic Final Fantasy theme music. And I'm also using not the arranged time. I'm not using the arranged soundtrack, I'm using the original soundtracks, because 16-bit era was that time when Final Fantasy games, when the Super Nintendo sound hardware was so good that you wouldn't need to do specific arrangements to the music to make it sound really good nowadays. And unlike, as much as I've said, oh yeah, this one tells about all the special bonus status effects you could get, or at least negative ones, because otherwise it's this will be a long game as well to play. Now I have to fight against a monster where the one swipe goes down. These aren't so prevalent in this game than the other Final Fantasy games. Yeah, relics are important. Oh yes, there's the chocobos as well, but they do not have much of plot relevance in this game. They are basically just a little bit of a convenience you can get in this. But now I have entered to the world map. So let's just walk around, not skip any random battles. And yeah, some sort of bird and some sort of vicious rabbit as well. So going with the basic just hit them with your regular attacks and they go down without much effort. And there's desert as well. And there's the Figaro where I will be going next time. This was how Final Fantasy VI got started. See you next time. See ya.